So this will be contested between Spam, who has used his 10 bonus points, Speedy, who has 0 points, DanikB from Suba, and Roa, who has 5 bonus points, which he is using now. This is their last opportunity to use it, and we will be starting off on Cold Sweat, going on to Makes You Think, Sin City, Kids in Love, and Toxic. So, have you got any kind of predictions we'd like to put for this match, Marius? Any impression you've been given by these players' performance?
I didn't see the early matches today, of course, but well, my favorites are Spam and Roa. Also, DanikB can do something. Speedy would surprise me, but I'm already surprised that he has knocked out Serbi, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it a close match there?
It got relatively close up until the end, yeah, but Serbi was making a lot of mistakes, was all. But I think what will be interesting to see here is Roa and Spam both dominated the lower bracket matches completely, and it'll be interesting to see now if they can either keep that momentum or if it will be stifled by each other almost, and going up against a good level of opposition. So we'll be going live onto the first round of Cold Sweat. So let's start it off with the 2012 World Champion Spam. And let's see what he can do on Cold Sweat. None of the players in this match are holding world records on the current map pack as of the moment. And we can see here, it's quite a difficult map, of course. There's a lot of places where the players can crash. I've seen a lot of mistakes being made by the players in these matches, but will we see the same going through from this? DanikB up into an early lead, Spam following very closely though. Spam going a bit too close to the right hand side there. We did see him losing some slight speed. DanikB does have a bit of more of a comfortable advantage up here at the top. I think Speedy failed that a bit, drops a bit further back. Spam looking to recover the advantage DanikB has. DanikB coming back there with much more speed, but it means Spam can get the inside pull. Not going to be enough to keep up with DanikB though. 1/10 ahead roughly is DanikB, but it goes too close to the right hand side there. Crashes into the wall, and now it's only between Spam and Roa. Roa now coming into the fray for the first place here. Spam going very close to the left hand side there, but looks as if he will get the first 10 points, and he will. So 10 points to add to the 10 points bonus he had, brings him up to 20 already. 11 for Roa, 4 for Speedy, and 3 for DanikB, despite leading almost a full round there until the end.
So if I remember correctly, this was the map where Speedy got so many first places in the one loser bracket match yesterday.
Yeah.
Might be his best map, so of course he needs to score good points here if he wants to have a chance. But yeah, the opponents are quite tough now for him. They are driving good times. So let's see if he can do something against that. We see Roa with a mistake. Early mistake, so he's almost 2 seconds behind the rest of the pack. And Spam is taking the lead. Already got the 10 bonus points and the first win, so he got a good lead over the other players already in the scoreboard, and maybe he can extend it by another win. Very good section by Spam, but also Speedy got it very nice and overtook DanikB, who tries to come back in this turn, and this time he doesn't crash, and overtakes Speedy, who also crashed now, but DanikB with a bigger crash. So where's Roa? Can Roa maybe take profit of that? Yeah, he will overtake DanikB, but in front we got Spam winning. Speedy gets the second, Roa now with the third place, and DanikB gets last.
Yes, that's another 10 points for Spam though, bringing him up to 30 points. Of course in 2 rounds it sounds a bit strange, but we've seen Spam getting off to a very, very good start in his last match. I believe it was on Cold Sweat as well. So perhaps this is his map where he feels really comfortable on. And Roa, who got off to a really good start in his lower bracket match, will be looking to kind of stifle any early momentum Spam will get. Of course, only the top 2 matter now. There's everyone here is automatically qualified for Season 3. It's just a case of survival now. Spam, however, will not survive the battle for first place, and he does get claimed by one of the tight sections there, and he joins DanikB at the back of the pack. So if we fast forward up to Speedy, who's trying to keep pace with Roa here at the moment. Roa with a comfortable advantage here at the moment though. 0.3 ahead is Roa, so Roa will be able to take some sort of degree of easier lines here just to make sure his 10 points are much more guaranteed, get him straight back into the battle for first place already, and widen his gap between him, Speedy and DanikB. So Roa coming through for the first place there, gets the 10 points with a good time as well, a 104.6. Speedy has to settle for second, Spam does eventually get third, and DanikB coming from another last place here. That's 3 in a row now.
Yeah, exactly. DanikB does not have the best start into the match. Every single round he got last place, but in the first round he actually was leading until the end. So he can drive fast, but he's not consistent at the moment. So let's see if he can get a clean run now. So at the moment we got Speedy at the last position, but Roa got a bad angle at this transition. Comes back with a lot of speed though, so DanikB loses some ground and Speedy can catch up to him. At the top we see Spam without any mistakes or slowdown, so he is in the lead by over 0.3 of a second and can get another win now if he avoids crashing, but the fight for second place is very close. DanikB is now overtaking Roa, also Speedy coming close, so we have 3 guys battling for the 6 points. Close fight between Roa and DanikB. Speedy is a bit out of it, still close but not close enough. He risks it, but gets a slowdown. Can DanikB do something against Roa? No. So Roa takes second in front of DanikB and Spam with another 10-pointer and with a very good time, 104.45.
He's definitely not too far away from the world record, especially considering that Cold Sweat was one of the maps which we've seen most far away from the world record was the regular time. We've seen, of course, some of the other maps like Makes You Think we see a lot closer times. Would you say that that's a reflection? So Cold Sweat, of course, between the world record and what the players are managing regularly seems to be the biggest difference. Would you say that's a reflection of how hard the track is, or would you say it's something else?
No, I didn't really listen, I looked at the chat.
Okay, so what I said was the Cold Sweat world record is compared to the regular pace of the players seems to be the widest gap. Would you say that's a reflection of how hard the track is, or how much trouble the players have with it, or would you say it's something else?
Yeah, yesterday we saw a lot of crashes on that map, so I think it's the most difficult map. And this is also the reason why the times are far away from the world record, probably.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of the maps we have seen the most crashes on, but this is one of the maps as well where it can cause a lot of drama for sure. We can see we've seen a lot of problems late on in this map, of course, with the rooftop going into the finish there, and it kind of results in a lot of people failing the finish. I've seen as they risk it, and they don't get enough lift going into the finish there. But I mean, they look as if they got it down no problem, at least in the warm up. But of course, now the pressure is on. We'll see what actually happens. So we'll ride with Speedy in this run. He is on 19 points at the moment. Quite a gap between him and Roa already. As I said, this is about survival already. Last 2 will be eliminated, and at the moment that is DanikB and Speedy. And Speedy is at the bottom of the pack here at the moment, but with he got a good entry to that, but he still has quite a bit of ground to make up here. Spam still in the lead. Oh, Speedy makes a mistake going through there though, so Speedy falls down. Let's go up to DanikB. He gets a bit more exit speed there than Roa and Spam, and as a result does close the gap very slightly. Spam's going to be feeling the pressure now of Roa and DanikB right behind him, and he falls behind Roa. Roa must have had a really good section going through there, and Roa now has the lead over the mat, over the round. Spam still in second place, but they still need to survive the charge of DanikB, but DanikB seems to be his own worst enemy through that section there, but going to be very close coming up to the end here between Roa and Spam, only half a tenth separating it. Roa though fails the finish and allows Spam the 10 points. Roa did eventually manage to get the 6 though, but DanikB has to settle for third. Speedy 4th though, and again widening the gap between Roa and Speedy to now 15 points.
Yeah, we see a lot of first and second places by Spam and Roa. mostly Spam first and Rower second. So they get away from the two opponents. But with second places, Rower can't get a huge gap now. He needs also some first places to be safer. But still, it's 15 points, and this is a good advantage that he has. So in this round, we see some crashes already. Spam with a huge crash in this tight turn. Speedy is half a second behind the lead, so we got a battle in front between DanikB and Rowa, and they are side by side. Rowa takes a minor lead now, goes for the outside pole while DanikB tries the inside pole, and after the turn we have the same result actually. Rowa with a minor lead over DanikB, but extending it now to 800s. So we come up to the last turn and it looks good for Rowa now. If we can make no mistakes here and finish it without problems. Let's see. Oh, he crashed again, and he again loses a round by 800s. Wow, 2 times the same thing for Rowa.
It's really something that after having that happen so many times, you kind of need to kind of change your trajectory to it a little bit. I can vouch for it personally. It's not easy, that's for sure, but a player of Rowa's calibre, I'm sure, has put enough practice into this to start getting the good rounds on it. Maybe just needs to take it a bit safer. But nevertheless, going on to round number 3, and Rowa is only in 43 points at the moment. Spam up in 57. It doesn't look like Spam's going to be getting much points from this here. Made an early mistake and is now down in last place, but we've seen his really good pace here, so he definitely has the opportunity to catch up. And Rowa, however, is still in first place at the moment. And DanikB and Speedy are very close behind, though, only a 10.5 between all of them. Spam's now on the comeback here. You can see he's overtaken DanikB. Where did Speedy go with his outside line, though? Slightly further behind, though. Will we see any drama coming up in the finish here? Rowa again has first place, as we can see here, and he's got a good ending coming up to it. And Spam's managed to recover to second place, so will Rowa manage to get to the finish? No problem. We see him going for the much safer option there. He did manage to finish with a good time there of a 104.0. We see Spam finishing in second. It's DanikB finishing in third, and Speedy not finishing at all. So at least we're not seeing throw in this match now. And Speedy, though, down in 26 points.
Yeah, Speedy not that good on this map, so DanikB overtook him now. But the gap to Rowa, of course, was extending now in the previous round, as Rowa took the 10 points. This round, although DanikB is on last place, Speedy falling behind him, or they are like equal now. So we got a battle for third place and a battle for first place at the top. Between Spam Rowa, it's close. Rowa got the advantage, tries a bit different line here in this turn. Still has a very tiny lead here. Now he goes inside pole and loses some time to Spam, who also goes inside pole. So Spam also with a better angle in this jump will extend the lead, but it's just 300s. But he got a better angle for this transition, so Spam still with a final lead. Rowa comes back though, or with very risky lines at the end will decide again. Can Rowa finally do it again in the fight? Yes. Wow, what a nice ending, and what time. He got a sub 104. 103.998. Spam second, Speedy third, and DanikB fourth.
Just got himself in the 103s there by the skin of his teeth, but very good time to get in the 103s there, certainly. And now we move on to Sin City. So this was one of the ones where if anyone was watching day one of the TMProLeague playoffs, of course, you would have seen that the world records would look significantly different to what they are now. Kids in Love, Sin City and Toxic, which will be our next 3 maps, have all had the world record since changed. Of course, Carl Jr., Paco, now the world record holder on this, a 104.305. So maybe he's found out, 350, pardon me, so maybe he's found out some sort of extra little trick to it, or maybe he's put a bit more practice into it. But as far as I remember here, Rowa and DanikB were some of the really good performers in their matches on these sort of maps. As I say that, DanikB clips a wall and crashes. So maybe Caster's Curse only strikes in the warm-up for us. But I'm looking forward to see what Rowa can do on this map. See if he can maybe bring the fight to Spam and now overtake him, perhaps.
For DanikB, it's a very important map as well. If he can perform good here, then he might catch up to Roa and Spam. At the moment, he almost has a 30 points gap to Roa, which is, of course, too much if he wants to fight against them in the finalist mode in the end of the match.
Yeah, that's true. He'll need to bring himself closer for sure. He is certainly a very capable player, but let's see how much he's trained these maps. Let's see how he does in Sin City. I do know he's got a good time here, but of course, good times don't mean very much if you can't pull them off. So let's see what DanikB can do in round number 1. Very kind of sharp turn you need to deal with at the start. DanikB going for a lot of multi-drifts there, so he does lose quite a bit of speed, but gets over the jump no problem, but loses positions. Speedy now in the lead for one of the first times of this match. Can he hold it against the charge of Roa, Spam and DanikB only slightly behind? Spam drops off, makes a mistake. I'll get 3 points from this round more than likely. Does still manage to keep going though, but the battle for first place is really heating up now. We've got Roa and Speedy. Speedy needs these points. Must be a very precious 10 points to him here, but Roa is on the charge. Speedy going inside and going for a lot of speed there. Roa going to try and catch up going through the end, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Speedy needs a good ending here. Roa's getting close though. Is it going to be enough? It looks as if Speedy's still got it for 104.7, 108, and a 7.81 being done by Roa. DanikB does eventually take third, and Spam has to settle for fourth, but good times being driven there by both players, and a good race, giving Speedy's first kind of good result in one of these rounds.
A great effort by Speedy. Very good round. Can he hold this now? It would be, of course, very needed in his situation. So Roa and Spam are also just 3 points away from each other in the total standing, so also the fight for first place is getting closer, but actually it's just as important to survive. It doesn't matter if you get first or second, you will land in the same match afterwards anyway. So we saw DanikB with a big crash already, and Speedy with a very, very big crash, but he can survive it and still finish. He gets overtaken by DanikB though. So we only got Roa and Spam without mistakes, but Roa got a huge lead already of 4/10 in front of Spam. So basically he only has to save it now until... okay, and there he crashes, so Spam takes over the lead and can get the 10 points if he just gets the slide. Yes, he does. So Spam gets the first place, Roa will take second, and then we got DanikB finishing in third place in front of Speedy.
He kind of threw that round away a little bit there, Roa. He really didn't need to risk going over the inside of that roof, that kind of roof block there. So it resulted in him getting a slowdown, which has cost him 4 points in the battle between him and Spam, but luckily Speedy and DanikB had made mistakes earlier for him, so he was able to recover no problem. But now we have Spam in the lead of this round and this match. 82 points here. Not too far away from finalist mode here now, but of course Speedy and DanikB very far behind on points here. Roa, however, isn't leading this match. Spam goes for a very wide line there. Maybe trying to gain more speed, but instead it results in Speedy overtaking him. Can Speedy hold the position though? Goes for a more outside line. Spam gets an awkward kind of bump there going on the exit of that turn, and now brings DanikB into the fold in the battle for second. DanikB's going for it. Jostling with Speedy for position. Speedy goes too close to the inside though, touches the wall and has to sacrifice second place. Spam's coming back here with a bit more speed though, but DanikB is looking to hold second place here. Roa still in first with a healthy lead, but it looks as if it's going to be DanikB taking second. A great time there by Roa, 104.588. Incredible time there by him, a really good pace, only 0.2 from the world record, and now showing that he's come to win this match, only 1 point behind Spam now.
Yeah, we got like 2 fights in this match. We got a fight for first place, only 1 point between Spam and Roa, and as you said, and then we got a fight for third place between DanikB and Speedy. But of course only top 2 is what matters in the end, if you want to survive. So Spam with an early crash that will give the possibility to Roa to take the lead in this match for the first time. And Roa also is in the lead at the moment. Followed by DanikB and Speedy, who are still in a fight against each other. But DanikB has the upper hand at the moment. With a tiny lead of 800s in front of Speedy. Speedy going a bit wide on the blue turn, loses some more time to DanikB. And Roa looks good in the lead. Now avoids the crash on the edge from the roof. DanikB going a bit wide, but still kept his speed, didn't have to release, and gets the second place without any problems. Roa with another 104 time, 0.74, still a very good time, especially for consistency. DanikB takes second, Speedy third, and Spam fourth.
Yeah, so now Roa's actually kind of setting a bit of a lead here on this. 6 points now he is in front of Spam, despite Spam having the points advantage with, of course, the bonus points. So it shows Spam his performance kind of slipped a little bit there in that map, but I mean, what is that? 35 points between Spam and DanikB. So you know, Danik and Speedy really need to step it up now. They're not going to have much more of an opportunity. It's not going to get any easier going from here on out. But would this be the kind of stage, if you were DanikB or Speedy, would you consider calling a timeout by this stage, or would you? If you were in their position, would you have called a timeout by now?
It really depends. I don't know if they really believe in that they can do it still, or I mean, if they don't care, then they probably won't take a timeout. But if they really think I still can do it, then it would be maybe a good idea to do it, especially to get Roa out of his flow that he now has. He got a lot of good rounds on the previous map, and sometimes a timeout can not just only help you, it can also maybe anti-help the others.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's curious, but we're seeing some players use them like almost every match, and then some just completely refuse to use them. Maybe it's just because it's a new concept, they're not so used to it or something like that. So maybe they're not sure how it would best affect them. But regardless, round number 1 we go into here on Kids in Love, a map by Wally, and we will watch Roa to start off with here. See if he manages to keep his momentum from the previous map and extend his 6 points lead over Roa. So good start here by both the players fighting for the top though. And DanikB's right here as well, so he's definitely not giving up yet. Neither is Speedy for that matter, but is slightly further behind. DanikB goes a bit too wide there, so has to release and adjust his line slightly. Spam in first place, however. Roa goes a bit too wide there over the jump and does crash. Spam doesn't get the best right-hander there. Speedy and DanikB overtake massively, and Spam crashes. DanikB crashes as well. This is great news for Speedy, a much needed 10 points for him. Will he manage to get it though? All he needs to do is get through this final corner without incident. And he does make the finish no problem. He can even go for the safe finish if he so wishes. He does not, but it will not mess him up anyway. Finishes a 105.2, gets the 10 points. Roa gets second, Spam third, DanikB fourth. So despite making mistakes, Roa still extends the gap on Spam bit by bit.
Exactly, and also Speedy overtook DanikB now in the total standings, as he got the first place and DanikB was on last. So there's still a fight. Of course, they are actually, even if they go out, they are fighting for 7th and 8th place in total, which is a nice result in this competition. So at the moment we see Spam being behind, but he's still in the round. Roa has a good lead already. He got a nice start. Spam maybe can catch up to second, but at the moment he's not doing so. Oh, Roa with a big mistake. That puts him into the last position, of course, and now we have the DanikB versus Speedy and Spam fight for the first position. Speedy falling back a bit, so just DanikB versus Spam, and we come to the ending. Speedy coming back a little bit, but yeah, now the last hairpin will decide who takes most risk. Or Speedy with a lot of speed here. Comes back all three side by side. DanikB doesn't have enough speed and Speedy takes the lead. Wow. Speedy with a comeback in this round. Didn't see him getting this first place, but he managed to do it, overtaking Spam by 15 thousandths, and DanikB very unlucky. He was in the lead and couldn't finish at all in the end.
Yeah, very unlucky for him. I mean, in that situation, I mean, he might have known he wouldn't have had enough speed there, but he still wanted to go for it just to see if he could do it anyway. But Speedy now, only 29 points behind Spam. It might sound like a lot, but if Roar Spam gets stuck on finalist mode, that's rounds in the bag for Speedy that he can gain, and he can get closer and closer. So it's definitely not over yet for Speedy or DanikB for that matter, despite DanikB being much further back. But Roa again in the lead early on. We've seen Roa have some really good starts going forward. You see a nice view here of Roa, but he fails again going through that right-hander. Through that kind of section, Roa, we've seen him having a lot of trouble. Spam this time in the lead now, but Speedy in third. DanikB second. They look to be on faster times here than the round before. DanikB's going for it to try and overtake Spam here and deny Spam possible points. Oh, DanikB has to go for an extra drift there, which will result in him losing speed. Spam with a bad line though. Will he be able to keep it over DanikB? Spam fails! He does a double front flip over the water, so he still manages to finish with some stunt points being added for sure. But DanikB takes first place with the 10 points. Spam drops down to last between Speedy in second and Roa third.
Oh, no, Spam was really lucky to still be able to finish this, but yeah. I was wondering if he really would go for the risky way or for the safe way, because it was obvious that he had less speed than DanikB, so it was obvious that it will be close for him. But he tried it, and at least he finished with 3 points. But yeah, risky decision he took there. And an important 10-pointer for DanikB, of course. So, looking into this round, we see that no player has made a huge crash at the moment, but now we come to this right-hander, and this time Roa will survive it, but Spam actually crashed. Also Speedy touched the wall and falls back, keeps himself in front of Spam though. So now Roa survived this part and finally can do the 10-pointer on this track. He's still in the lead though, so he didn't really lose points to Spam. Now he will extend his lead and go up to 119 points. Of course, an unlucky number, but that means he only needs to finish next round for sure and will definitely be finalist afterwards, and will be the only finalist.
So yeah, exactly, the only finalist, which is a key point there. So going on to the new map, which is Toxic. We've seen quite a mixed bag of performances here from the players in this match, so it will be interesting to see how they go forward on this. But Roa, kind of as you said, on the unlucky number of 119, Spam down on 106, Speedy and DanikB, the gap is not looking any better, I'm afraid. But as again, the match is not over until it is over, as the kind of obvious saying goes. But we've seen we've seen especially a very good performance by Spam in his lower bracket match here. I believe he won all 4 rounds here in his amazing start to his lower bracket match. So, but now he has Roa that he's got to go up against, and I'm sure he knows Roa is equally as fast a player as him. So, whereas the other matches he could rely on his opponents making mistakes, whereas I don't think Roa's going to be as susceptible to that. So we will see. What do you think we can expect from this? Do we expect a lot of mistakes?
Well, when you say that Spam and Roa did really well on this track in the previous matches, then it looks pretty grim for Speedy and DanikB actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably it will be the last map. I think they will both make it now. And we have a little fight between Speedy and DanikB. Who will be in front when the match is finished? Who will get 7th in total?
Yeah, a battle for pride more than anything else. So it's as we said, of course, it will only be the 7th or 8th position in the match that they will on the tournament that they will be battling for. But there's nothing to gain or lose other than, as I said, a little bit of personal pride that they managed to get 7th instead of 8th. But here we go into round number 1. I'm going to focus on Spam this time, see if we manage to keep the kind of pace he was hitting on this map last time? Or will he stumble at the hands of some tougher opposition? So, Spam off to a good start here along with Roa. But gets his nose ahead here. Roa comes back for a lot of speed, but not the smoothest landing. Roa in the lead here. Only 400s ahead going over this rooftop block. Roa extends it slightly, but Spam gets more exit speed. It's a two-man fight up here at the top. Both of them are relatively equal going over the blue part. Roa kind of kills a bit of speed there in his first drift and does fall a bit behind Spam. Gets a bit of a bump going over the transition from off-road to the road, and that results in him falling down to 3rd place here. Whereas DanikB is 0.27 behind Spam here at the moment, but looks as if Spam's got this round in the bag. For 0.3 advantage here, let's see what kind of time he's going to end up in. Oh, a 105.3, so a very good time here by Spam. DanikB gets the 6 points, Roa gets 4, and Speedy gets 3, but this now means that Roa is on finalist mode.
Exactly, now is the round that matters for him. Previous round he could just YOLO a bit or save a bit, but now he needs the 1st place. Now he needs to beat Spam and the other players of course as well, and he goes up into the lead, so he has the best start in this round, but all players are still following him very closely. Speedy got a little slowdown on the border, so he loses some ground. Spam drops down to 3rd place, drives a bit different line compared to Roa and DanikB, but he didn't have that much more speed. So Roa extends his lead, DanikB falling back a bit. Spam maybe can overtake him, also Speedy coming back, so we have a fight for 2nd place, but Roa looks to be safe in the lead. So he can definitely get the 1st place in this round. This is a great opportunity for Roa. Spam needs 3rd place to get the finalist status, but actually he's going to 2nd at the moment. So last turn for Roa. Will he make it? Only the finish jump is remaining and he gets it. And Spam and DanikB crashed, but Spam gets the 4 points. Will get the finalist status. And let's see the time by Roa. 105.23 is a sick time that he did.
So now we've got one finalist here, and it's Spam, of course. Has a very, very healthy lead over DanikB and Speedy at the moment. So DanikB and Speedy fighting for survival here. This is their tournament on the line. They are getting sent packing after this if they do not manage to outperform Spam here, and at the moment it is not looking good. 0.2 behind is DanikB. Speedy's going for it though. He does not want to say goodbye to TMProLeague just yet. DanikB trying to catch up a little bit as well here. DanikB though, he flips over the rooftop, has to retire, at least get some stunt points in my book there, but not going to be enough. Speedy still about 1/10 behind Spam here, but he's going to need to risk it. It's all or nothing for Speedy here. If he settles for 2nd, he will get it, but Spam makes a mistake going through that left-hander there. Speedy must have seen that, so he can afford to fully safe the turns going forward. And the round will be his. Will there be any drama going through the end? There will not be, and Speedy takes it with a 105.68 and secures it no problem. So, maybe a bit of extra drama being added to this. Speedy now on 98 points.
Yeah, but Speedy still needs 3 rounds in order to also get finalist. Actually, he's pretty safe over DanikB now, but yeah, it will be difficult to get close to Spam. Spam needs to choke if this should happen, that Speedy comes back here. Actually, Spam is only on 3rd place in this round. DanikB now looks to deny him the win. Spam actually overtook Speedy. Well, they are still in a fight, but DanikB has a good lead here, 3/10 in front of Spam. Now through this left-hander. All players did it well. Speedy falls back a bit, but DanikB is still holding the lead. Can he deny Spam? Spam now trying everything. Now comes this risky jump. Both players are doing it perfectly. Still, we got 2600s between the two players, and DanikB only has 1 turn remaining, so we will probably see another deny. Just the finish jump, and DanikB gets the 10 points with a nice time, 105.46. And Spam is only third. I didn't even see that. Speedy overtook Spam by 5,000, actually. He took the 6 points.
Yeah, he took the 6 points by virtue of Spam actually kind of failing the finish jump a little bit. So now Speedy's on 104 points. Maybe this would be a time that Spam perhaps could use a tactical timeout just to refocus, make sure that if things are going bad, that he can get his head back in the game and refocus for finalist mode. Because as I'm sure you know, Marius, from your wealth of tournament experience, finalist mode is one of those things that if it doesn't go well immediately, it can be a bit of a trap, you know, like a bit of a mental trap where they start having issues, they're not able to close out the rounds. So really confidence can come into play, but we will see if that will be the case for Spam in his first finalist attempt on Cold Sweat. So he still has 2 players to deny him with Speedy and DanikB. The question is, will they be able to? At the moment, everyone's off to a good start here. Everyone is relatively equal. Ooh, but Spam gets a lot of speed going through here and overtakes Speedy going over there. Speedy is down. Where's DanikB? Will he be able to deny Spam at all? He's very far behind here at the moment. This is Spam's perfect opportunity with a 3/10 lead. He needs to hold it together here though. Goes for the inside pole. Bit of a safer option there so he doesn't no-slide into the pole. Needs to avoid the many choke points here in this map to make sure that he's given himself the best opportunity possible. Goes really close to the inside there, but he still has a 4/10 lead over DanikB. Now getting cut down to 2/10. DanikB's going for it. He knows that this is his tournament on the line. He has to go for it. Oh, he's only got 2 turns remaining. Is Spam going to make it through to the consolidation final? DanikB kisses the wall and is out of the round, and Spam takes it with a 104.5. GG's in the chat, and Spam takes second and moves forward to the consolidation final with Roa, and Speedy and DanikB are out.